Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest YouTuber of all time. Nostalgia! Bong Heats! We're back with another one. And we got a good one for you today. So, one of my subscribers, one of the loyal ones, they said they are up today, $1,700 in 7 days. Did I do that? Whoops! We're going to get shut down by the FCC now. They're going to be like, you actually making people money in the slave system? What? Sir, we got to shut your channel down. Get back to promoting Shining Fates ETPs, damn it. Alright, look, I got to fuck that up for you guys. Buy Shining Fates now. It's going to the moon. Oh, man. That's the advice, really. Just buy Shining Fates. Oh, wait, we gotta jam this real quick. Wait, it's like short. Get ready for this. Wait. Here it comes. Are you making people money? No, we gotta have them work in the slave system. Hell no. $1,700 gain in 7 days? No. Oh, here it is right here. Get ready. Distance. We're back with another one. And today, I kind of want to talk about our discussion of just Pokemon investing in whole. Of people having these crazy gains. Right now, you're kind of living in lucky times where it's just kind of like buy the right product and it spikes in very short periods of time, which is kind of convenient right now for a lot of us. It's just like buy Fusion Strike Pokemon Center ETB cases. Buy Chilling Reign. By the way, Chilling Reign, there is a case on TCG Player right now for $4,000. I think it is a screaming pickup. It's about to run to $6,000 to $7,000. So to grab it at $4,000 is not really that bad in my opinion. If you didn't get a Chilling case, I'm glad I did. But if you didn't get one yet, now's not a terrible time still. Lost Origins still sitting pretty expensive. Fusion's still sitting pretty expensive. Still not bad buys, but yeah, Chilling's sitting pretty reasonable still. Not that bad. It was $4,500, so to grab it at $4,000 is not terrible. The Fusion PC TBs, I still think even at $2,000, $2,200, it's not a terrible pickup. If you're getting them for less than that, it's a must pickup. But that's just kind of where we're at with things that, so, but I do want to talk about kind of a safety net for people that maybe are afraid to hold, because I've seen people sell just because like a YouTuber will say like, oh no, this is not good. Sell all your prismatic PC TBs because they're going to go to MSRP, and people just aren't patient. Well, I want to talk about patience, and I want to compare. So my Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes with the window tints, they're about $650 each now, and for like the Vaporeon tin connected to it, and I bought those 4 years ago for $40 each. So it was a tremendously good investment. And so I put about $800 in it, roughly, like I said, 4 years ago. And now it's worth like the 19, 20 ETBs I have, or worth somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000. And also I put $800 into just buying a shitload of Celebrations Lance's Charizard boxes. And as crazy as it sounds, those are actually up to about 12 grand too for like all 50 some of them. So it's almost kind of like no matter what product you get, just with the age, it just kind of goes up the same. Like if you invested about $800 into Pokemon 4 years ago into sealed, you're at about 11 to 12 grand right now, just for every 800 you invested. Almost across the board, no matter what you bought, unless maybe you bought battle styles, then you maybe didn't get that good of a gain. But like across the board, you're really up tremendously. And it kind of shows like over time, no matter how much you really invest, um, it kind of goes up pretty close the same. It's just the liquidity on my Evolving Skies ETBs would be a hell of a lot easier than selling my Lance's Charizard Celebration boxes. So really, that's why I suggest on this channel PC ETBs all the time because they're just more liquid in my opinion if you have a case of them. That they're just very easy to resell back on the market, or a sealed case of booster boxes. They're just a lot easier liquidity wise to sell than buying like booster bundle stuff. But even booster bundles proving to be a good investment, but it's like why not go with the more premium items if you can afford them? You know, like when it comes to Paldea and Fates, it's kind of like why buy the booster bundles when you could just buy the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes and they're going to be more liquid and easy to sell. Now they've gotten really expensive, like 3,500 a case. But my point was back when they were like 2 grand. It turns out not to be a bad investment. But even like Obsidian Flames, in the same short period of time went from $100 booster box clear up to like 300 now, and it's just showing that over time these boxes gain. Now you guys have gotten a lot better opportunities in a way than me back in the day because I had to wait 4 years for some of these gains, and you guys are getting them in like a week. So I mean that's like really lucky, actually. During a time where everyone complains that they can't find product when you literally had some of the best plays to possibly ever make. And that's why you have to take your emotions out of things and just realize when something's a really good deal. Like Chilling Rain cases right now for 4 grand are a really good fucking deal. So, that's kind of where I'm going with this is basically with Pokemon and Sealed, you got to buy the best deals you can find on cases and just hold them and let them just naturally appreciate over, a 5 to 10 year cycle. And you'll do really well. And that's just the basic formula that I've used over the past 4 years. And, yes, you're going to see some products outperform some of your predictions, like Obsidian Flames PC TVs. They've outperformed almost all of my investments actually in a shorter period of time, but I've still held steady and haven't gave up on like my Evolving Skies ETBs hitting 1,000. So it's just kind of patiently holding steady, letting your stuff get old and hit that like 6 to 7 to 8 year old sweet spot. And then when you're there, then maybe consider selling, if you need the money. And right now, I just don't think we're at that sweet spot yet, even though it seems like we're at all-time highs for a lot of these products. They just keep climbing. So that's just kind of where we're at. Trying to think of another good example. But yeah, like inherently, sealed over a long time is just usually always going to do pretty good. And I was even looking at Scarlet and Violet base. I mean, this was an ETB I couldn't give away for $30. They're now like $80 fucking dollars, man. Like these were just items that I bought in people's collections, a year or two ago that they didn't want, and it's like that was just stuff I had left over that I couldn't really sell, and now it's just like still an $80 Scarlet and Violet at ETB is wild, but that's just where we're at. That even Scarlet and Violet base would have been considered a good investment. I mean, if you compare it to the stock market, fuck, $40 to $80 is a pretty good investment. I mean, really, you could have bought one of those for like $20, $30 a couple of years ago, and I mean, yeah, they've doubled. So even the most like ridiculous of products, still over time, double. And that's just kind of my theory of what I was telling you guys the other day of being patient and just waiting it out, because like no matter what, sealed kind of goes up 100 to 150% a year if you just hold it and wait your gains out and wait for people to get flushed out of the market. And that's just how things work. So even if you feel like you're at your tops and maybe it's time to sell, like I know a lot of you bought Lost Origin cases and stuff like that at 2,300, $3,000, $4,000, and they're now 6 to 7. It may seem like a great time to sell, and I mean it's not bad if you need the money, but if you don't need the money, it's also not a bad time to just continue to hold and see what happens. And that's why I've just held all of my cases and just kind of refused to sell them, because I think that same theory over time will help them just get more and more expensive. So I really don't think 7K for like Fusion Strike or Lost Origin is at its top yet. So, but there's a lot of YouTubers making videos, PokePlumber, saying, yeah, well, we're at our tops. These are really top signs. And I think not. I just think it's a healthy market of like what sealed usually does. It's a little crazier than it was 3 or 4 years ago, but there's also a lot more people in it than 3 or 4 years ago. So you got to take that into consideration. There's a hell of a lot more people than there ever was in this hobby. So that's why you're seeing more rapid growth a little quicker. But it's pretty much just at par. Like Cosmic Eclipse was a $300 box, and yeah, 3 or 4 years later, it was like $1,000, right where Fusion Strike is, and then now it's like 4K, 4,700, and that's just kind of where we're at, and that's why like Fusion and Chilling and these sets, why I'm saying now is still not a bad time to get them, because this same thing can happen, especially with sets from Sword and Shield era, the Alt Art era. It still just has the crazy potential to like do just as good as Sun and Moon era or X and Y. So that's why I still think, some of these prices right now are like really easy plays to make. You may say, like, oh, I can't find Pokemon, I missed the boat. And I really don't think that's the case. Look at Chilling Rain cases, still at 4K. I still think it's a very, very good time to get in. Very good time, honestly. I mean, yeah, you didn't get in for $3,000 like I was saying last month, but $4,000 still not bad when, and this is just piston in the wind saying they're going to be $6,000. I mean, that's just going with the flow of time. I think they'll be $6,000, let alone if they see just a major spike in demand that they're, $2,000 to $3,000 a booster box, then that's going to even add to it even more. So like, that's just going with like the basic of just Pokemon doesn't get any more people into it. Everything just stays on the normal climb. Then it's going to be a $6,000 to $7,000 case. And that's not even factoring in like, as it gets a hell of a lot older, like 3 more years older, you're probably looking at a $10,000 Chilling Rain case. So that's just my opinion on the matter. And yeah, it may feel like Chilling Rain's at its top at 4K if you bought it at like 1,500, but in reality, it still has a lot of room to run. So that's just my opinion on the matter. But yeah, like I said, a lot of you are up tremendously, and whoops, did I do that? You better buy some Shining Fates. Anyway, that's all we got for this one. Congratulations on everyone for their gains, and wabam, we're out.